Welcome to Journey to Oz, the podcast where we share migration stories from overseas to Australia, as well as relevant migration updates. We are both registered migration agents, Nick, who specialises in family visas, and myself, Evan, who specialises in employer-sponsored visas. Nick, we want to give a quick rundown to the listeners today to talk about the increase to the Department of Home Affairs visa application charges.
Yeah, that's right. So the Australian government normally increases the visa application fees on the 1st of July every year. The increase is normally somewhere between 2 and 5% in line with the Consumer Price Index. And last Friday, the Australian government announced that the fees would be going up by 3% on the 1st of July 2022.
We know that this is going to happen every year, and we get a lot of signs that it's going to be coming up straight away as well. BPay is one of the payment methods, and that's where you make a payment from your bank account and it goes up into the cloud payment and it comes back down and gets received by the Department of Home Affairs. It's not a simultaneous payment method, and it's one which is closed off for approximately the last 10 days of June every financial year. The only ways that you can make a payment in these last week and a half is to be able to do the simultaneous methods like PayPal and by credit card. And
another thing worth noting, if you're planning to lodge your application on the 30th of June, don't leave it too late because IMMIAccount, where the online applications are lodged, is normally down for a few hours prior to midnight.
People that are lodging for a registered migration agent or immigration lawyer, they get a heads up about these changes which are occurring. And I formally let all my clients know, look, this is the exact figure that we're going to be using from the first week of July onwards. And they all said, oh, thanks, Evan, but you did give me an idea it was going to be approximately 3%, but I'm very meticulous in my approach, as you are as well, Nick.
Yeah.
But if you were just doing a bit of research or you wanted to know how much, even as of today, which is only a few days before the end of financial year, the visa fee calculator on the Department of Home Affairs website hasn't been updated yet either to be able to go through from the 1st of July onwards.
Yeah, that's right. And now, Evan, we've both had a look through the new fees, the instrument that was released by the Department of Home Affairs. How are the fees affecting some of your clientele?
Yeah, look, if you're looking to lodge this time of year before the end of financial year, but when BPay is suspended, you're looking at something like a credit card surcharge, which is 1.4%. If you're going to be waiting until the 1st of July onwards, this increase of approximately 3% to your visa application charge does sting you a little bit. So quite typically of the employer-sponsored visas, the most expensive one is the 186 visa. So if you were lodging in this current financial year ending 22, you're looking at, for the primary applicant, it's $4,115. That's going to be increased to $4,240. For a secondary applicant, it's $2,060. That's going to be increasing to $2,120. So you're looking at, for a couple lodging the 186 visa, a primary and a secondary applicant, you're looking at a $185 increase, which is hitting you from the 1st of July. Nick, how does this affect the family space?
Yeah, so the partner visa and the prospective marriage visa application fee is currently $7,850. That's without the credit card surcharge, which is $110. But on the 1st of July, the fee will be increasing to $8,085, which is a $235 increase on an already pretty expensive visa application fee.
We hope that this information helps people prepare for this time next year. As mentioned, practitioners such as Nick and I, we know that this is going to happen every year. But I think for a lot of people that are managing their own application or just looking into doing the research, it's hit them with quite a shock. So hopefully, knowing what's happened this financial year, you can take that into this time next year and you get a bit of understanding of what happens. So you know that there's going to be an increase to the visa application charge. You know that BPay, where there is no surcharge, that goes down for about a week and a half prior to the end of financial year. And you know as well, as Nick said, that the IMMIAccount, where you do that electronic lodgement, that will actually go down for several hours at the end of June as well to prepare for all the new changes, which get uploaded for people ready to lodge from the 1st of July.
Yeah, our advice is to probably just aim to lodge by the 15th of June if you're going to leave it that late and you don't want to sort of, you want to avoid any uncertainty on the fees. Just do it by that date and then you can be sure.
Thank you for listening to the Journey to Oz podcast. If you have liked what you've heard, please subscribe and also leave us a review.
The Journey to Oz podcast is produced by Nick Hansen from Hansen Migration, Migration Agent Registration number 1679147, and Evan Bishop from Worldly Migration, Migration Agent Registration number 1679414. Any information discussed in this podcast is made available for entertainment purposes only and is not intended as a substitute for professional advice. We do not make any guarantee or accept any responsibility for the accuracy and completeness of any of the information discussed. You should obtain advice from a registered migration agent or an immigration lawyer before acting on any of the content discussed in this podcast. You can find a list of registered migration agents by visiting mara.gov.au. The information contained within this podcast may not be reproduced without our prior written consent. In the spirit of reconciliation, we acknowledge the traditional custodians of land throughout Australia and pay respects to their elders. We extend that respect to all Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islanders today. Thank you for listening.